It is time for Adidas to sit up and pay attention because these could be the best laceless boots ever made. Stick around and we'll find out if they are. What's up guys, James here from BootWizard Boot Reviews, and today it is full tech spec review day for the Lotto Solista 100 Gravity. This is the brand new laceless model from Lotto. Lotto were the originators of the laceless boot, releasing the very first pair, the Zero Gravity, back in 2006. Unfortunately, it didn't go so well for them, and really the laceless boot has only taken off in popularity since Adidas started knocking them out. But Lotto are back in the game, and with Lotto's recent success, really making some top quality boots, let's find out if they've managed to take back the throne and really make their laceless boot a contender. So let's start with what I think is probably the most impressive part of this boot, and it is the upper. Lotto have launched this brand new knit material, which is actually fantastic. It is super soft, like one of the softest knits that I have come across recently. It has a transparent polyurethane coating that's been hot melted onto the top of the boot, and that has given it like a waxy sensation, and that gives you a really nice amount of grip and texture on the ball, just a little bit of extra help. Then on top of that, you have these ribs that run the length of the boot. Now they have been put in there to again enhance your touch and control on the ball. It's a similar idea to what Nike did with the Vapor 12, putting in the speed ribs, but it's much more pronounced. It's actually built into the knit instead of being a silicone that's been put on top of the knit, and it maintains that beautiful flexibility that the boot has. Also, something I do want to mention that's in Lotto's specific technical description for this boot, it's like a throwaway line in the middle, is that the instep of the boot is waterproof. Now, I'm assuming that's coming from the coating, but the coating is the same all the way around the boot. So I'm not entirely sure how that works, but a waterproof instep to the boot, or an instep that would repel water and try and keep it as dry as possible in adverse weather conditions, is a very cool addition to this. I haven't tried it because I've not been able to play in any adverse weather yet, but it's a very cool addition if it works. Taking a look at the laceless system, it is pretty much a laceless system that you would expect to get on a knitted boot. It is an extra piece of stretchy material that runs down the center of the boot. However, it has been reinforced just here with a bit of a polyurethane top coating, which actually prevents overstretching. It's a really simple thing to do, just to put that in there, but it really helps with the lockdown of the boot. The laceless system then runs up into the collar here, which is just a standard mid-cut type collar. It doesn't do anything. It's there purely for the purpose of looks and to give you that seamless sock-like feeling, which this boot definitely gives you. Really impressed with the upper on this boot. Okay, weight. Lotto have been amazing recently at putting out very lightweight boots across their range. This is absolutely no different, 197 grams. Now that's a great weight for any modern speed boot. Under 200 grams is fantastic, and what I would say should be the benchmark for a modern speed boot. This is in my size, a UK 8. Now, if we compare this to laceless models, it is lighter than the Adidas X19 Plus, which comes in at around 201 grams in my size, and it is significantly, like really significantly lighter than the Adidas Predator 19 Plus. So for a general boot, it is an impressive weight. For a laceless boot, it is really impressive. With the exception of the Umbro Medusa 3 Elite, this is the lightest laceless boot on the market right now. So the sole plate and the stud pattern on the brand new Lotto Solista 100 Gravity is completely unchanged from the previous generation of Lotto Solista. Nothing has been altered. Now, 50% of that I think is fantastic. The other 50% I would have liked to have seen some change in. The 50% that I really like is the sole plate itself. This is a nylon sole plate with some fantastic stiffening in the heel and midfoot, and then Lotto's Punterflex technology in the forefoot. And that allows for good flex and bend in the forefoot, and this sole plate really has great snapback. Like, it's one of the best on the market for a responsive snapback sensation from the sole plate. My issue comes in the shape of the studs, not even the pattern necessarily, just the shape. Now, it's not bad at all. It has conical studs in most of the positions, and then 6 what Lotto call Evo studs, which are these here. They look a little bit like Pac-Man studs. Now, these are designed to give you additional benefits in braking, in accelerating, in turning, things like that, but they don't really do that much extra. Now, my issue comes purely on the basis that this is Lotto's speed boot line. And in a speed boot, I want the boot to be more aggressive. I want the traction to be super aggressive. On these, the studs are certainly long enough to give you great traction on firm natural grass, to the point where I don't recommend this for artificial grass surfaces. I think the studs are a little bit too long, and they're not overly wide, so they still get good purchase. So the problem isn't that it's bad, it's just that I want it to be better for the type of boot that it is. So, value for money. These retail for £190, which is far more expensive than anything Lotto have put out recently. So, how do we look at this from a value for money perspective? They've priced themselves right up there with the Puma boots. So the Puma Future, the Puma One, these retail for £180. They're really putting themselves into a price bracket with some serious competition from some names that are much bigger than Lotto these days. So in those terms, I think maybe a little too expensive. However, we have to consider that this is a laceless boot. Now, in terms of laceless boots at the moment, you only really get 2 options. You get the Adidas Plus range, which is up at £280, or you get the Adidas 0.3 laceless range, which quite frankly isn't very good. It's a budget model that's way down the other end. It's not worth comparing to something like this because this is so much better than that. So this really is in that comparison ballpark for the Adidas Plus line models. So when you think about it like that, these are a pair of laceless boots of the standard of the Adidas Predator 19 Plus, the Adidas X 19 Plus, the Copa 19 Plus, for almost £100 less. So in those terms, these actually offer really great value for money for a laceless boot. Will people be willing to spend that money on a pair of boots with a Lotto logo instead of an Adidas logo? Only time will tell, but I can recommend them as a good option for a person who wants a really high quality top-end laceless boot but doesn't have £300 to spend. I would much rather buy these than those 0.3 laceless from Adidas. They're not worth your money. These are worth your money.
You're welcome! Wait, what now?
Just in terms of looks, I really like this boot. I love the knit material with the ribs in and all the different kind of shades of grey in the knit. I think the orange accent looks really great, and I just think keeping it simple with the grey and then that bright orange pop accent colour looks fantastic. No wearable finish on the sole plate, but that is no bad thing at all. I think the shape and the silhouette is also amazing. Yes, it does look a little like the Predator. I hope as we've gone through this video, I have kind of proved that it is not a rip-off of the Predator, but if you want to hear my opinions on that, or you want to get a really close-up look at this boot, then do click the link above and that will take you through to my unboxing, and make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss any of my unboxings or reviews in the future. So before we get the boots on, I just want to talk about the inside of the boot and the extras that you get with the boot. So you get a shoehorn, which is helpful because they're quite difficult to get on. You get a little pamphlet, which tells you all about the history of the Lotto Solista. You get a string bag, which you do not get of recent times with Lotto boots. And then importantly, you get double fit insoles. So this is the bit that I want to talk about. So there's a little card in here which explains them. So what you do is you take your Solista Gravity, you take the insole, which is the standard Lotto insole, and then you take your relevant double fit insole and you put it underneath. So you layer your two insoles like this. So you still stand on this one, and then this one gives you an extra 2 millimeters of lift inside the boot to take up more room. You then slide both of the insoles into the boot, and then that is how you would wear them. It takes up extra room in the boot, gives you a bit of a customizable fit, and also tries to eliminate any issues that you might have with poor lockdown or poor responsiveness, because you physically take up more room in the boot. It's a very cool idea. Lotto did it with the zero gravity as well, and it's nice to see a company acknowledge that the boot is not going to fit everybody perfectly and that there are some customization options. I really like that. And finally, just a quick chat about the inside of the boot, which you probably cannot see very well at all. It is a basically synthetic suede liner. It's very plush, it feels very premium. There is a reasonable amount of padding which provides structure and makes the boot fit a bit better. There is memory foam padding in the heel, which gives you amazing heel lockdown in general, and I have no complaints about the liner. It does add padding, which takes away from a barefoot feel that you might want in a speed boot. So on feet, I think these look fantastic. Like really great looking boots. In terms of the sizing, I have gone for my regular size UK 8 and they fit me perfectly. Like, it's a really good fit. Across the midfoot, they are quite tight because obviously they are laceless and they're trying to give you as much lockdown as possible. So it is great that you do get that kind of tight fit across the boot, really. The heel lockdown is phenomenal because of this external heel counter and the additional memory foam padding that you get in the heel area. For me, I'm not using the double fit insoles. I find that the fit is just fine without them. In terms of general lockdown, I think it is the best that you are going to get from a laceless boot on the market right now. And I think that in terms of responsiveness, it is also the best you're going to get from a laceless boot on the market right now. Does that mean that it's perfect? Absolutely not. And are you still going to get more lockdown and more responsiveness from a boot with a traditional lacing system? Yes, you absolutely are. But if you want laceless boots and you want the best laceless boots for lockdown, these are them. The width is reasonable, but not something I would recommend for wide feet. Although if you do have slightly wide feet, you shouldn't have any problems unless you're putting them on. Because they're laceless, because they give you great lockdown, because there is this extra piece just on the laceless system here, which is designed to stop the boot overstretching, they are a bit more difficult to get on than a regular pair of boots. And I imagine you would struggle more if you have, for example, high arches or very wide feet. So overall, I have been massively impressed by the Lotto Solista 100 Gravity. Does it have issues? Yes, it's still a laceless boot. It still doesn't provide you as much lockdown, as much customization, and as much responsiveness as a pair of boots with laces does. But I think, it's a bold claim, stick with me, that this is the best laceless boot on the market right now.
Best laceless boot on the market right now.
But that is all from BootWizard here today on the Lotto Solista Gravity. Let me know down in the comments, would you consider the Lotto Solista Gravity over a laceless Adidas boot? Remember to hit the like button because that helps me out massively, and if you are not already subscribed, click that subscribe button and join the BootWizard family. That's everything from BootWizard here today. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon.